I am too excited. I am too excited to get started, guys. I don't even think I set up for stream properly, but we're gonna do it anyway. I don't know how much I want this music on in the background. It might distract me. I just came in from touching grass, so I'm a little winded right now. If you guys forgive me on that, but let's see what we got going on here. Can I guess I just should yeah, I think this is what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. And we're also going to turn this one on. There we go. We have a lot to talk about today. a lot to talk about. So we're gonna break this up into a few sections, right, chat? First, we're gonna be talking about the chapters that were finished slash came out this year. There's only a few of them, really not that many. We're gonna be talking about videos that came up on the channel, and we're gonna be talking about the stories that I wrote. So and about where we're gonna go next year, because believe it or not, I do have a plan. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, we're going to be taking a look. Let me actually turn this down in my headset and then turn this up right here. I don't know why music's just a little distracting for my brain. Sometimes I can handle it. Sometimes I don't know. But first we're going to be talking about New Year's resolution. I have to keep my, hey Russ, oh wait, no, fuck, forget I said anything. I actually thought this chapter was mostly good. And of course I made a video on this chapter. This year was a big year for chapter reviews, especially. This was a pretty okay chapter. It had things that I liked, had things that I didn't like, had some head scratchers, you know. Paulo's never heard of Facebook. He's a teenager in the year 2008 going into 2009, has not heard of Facebook or social media or anything. Come on. I know his dad is poor, but like, for fuck's sake. Really? I thought him being completely naked standing next to Abby was kind of funny. I don't really care about the whole clothes debate. It's whatever. Let them be naked if they want. I need to open up the window. Or do that so I can get some more light in here. But he does look extremely naked here. Like, he looks like he's just letting it all hang out. You know what I'm saying? Also, his head is very big. Abby's head looks a little large too, but like Paulo's head, just that thing is like a fucking boulder. Oh, Molly is so cute. Yeah, for sure. She's also wearing clothes, which makes it look even worse, right? It's like, what the fuck's wrong with Paulo, dude? He's just standing around naked. We did get some nice full bodies here, kind of full bodies. Yeah, no, the full body of Molly looking really annoyed. It is interesting that I don't know if there's like a difference between Abyssinian males and females, but it is interesting that her tail is a little bit fluffier, has the white underside, and while you can't really see it too good, Abby's tail does have like a lighter underside. It's not as frilly as hers. I know she's like frazzled here, but like you can see here it's a little bit extra. I don't know if that's like a thing with the actual cats. I have not really done too much research into it. But yeah, this is pretty good. This chapter does tie into some things that I complained about, but also it makes those things that I complained about worse. Basically, Mike is upset that... Alright, so I talked about this in the review. I'll go over it again very briefly. But Paulo and Daisy's conversations with Mike are the exact same, but they're approaching it from different angles. And the crux of their conversations is that Mike is too nice. Now, on Daisy's perspective, which is a little bit more of a defensive take, because I'll say this: Agent Chimenez opened my eyes to something that I hadn't really realized before, which is Daisy's MO is conflict de-escalation. Whatever she has to say to try to keep the conflict from escalating is what she's going to do, right? Not that she's necessarily going to lie, but she is going to try to keep things to a down low. The thing with Paulo is he is not that, right? And so Daisy took the approach of, you being so nice allows people to walk all over you, and it's hurting you. Paulo's approach is, you being so nice causes people to think that you have like a romantic interest in them, and it's not fair to other people. And Mike he's particularly more upset about this because it does hit on like the Sandy Lucy thing. But Mike's take is that I love you guys just as deeply as that, it's not romantic, but I love you guys just as deeply. And I hate that people keep mistaking that passion, that feeling, for love. And it maybe kind of hints at that he doesn't actually love Lucy anymore. Like, he just sees her as a friend that he deeply cares about, which Musey shippers are very sad. If I had to choose between the ending where they don't get together and the ending where they do, neither of which will feel satisfying, I would rather them just get together, considering what's the point of this whole comic. But it doesn't make sense that he would be upset to near the point of tears. No, to the point of tears. I'm so upset that people misinterpret my feelings and they try to like put moves on me and I have to choose. And then Date Night, which is a chapter one of my probably top 5 or top 3 least favorite chapters in this comic. You have Date Night, and this could just be an instance of Teshi not like planning out every single little detail, but for Mike to get kissed randomly by this guy that he only saw as a friend, and for his reaction to be this, and his reaction to be upset because, well, I'm with Sandy, this does not track with what you say later. This actually tracks with what I said should have happened, where he looks uncomfortable and is a little put off by the fact that James kissed him. If this right here is to be believed, then this reaction should not have happened. And I'm not sure, but when you put it in the context, the lens of this page, of these few pages here, this further and further seems like gay baiting, which is something Teshi said that she didn't want Paulo and James to date because it felt like gay baiting. She was on a live stream. It is possible that she did not mean that she misspoke. Like, she didn't formulate her thoughts in a way that were 100% with what she really meant to say. But if she did mean to say what she said, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
This is dumb. I know it's dumb, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I can see an ending where Mike doesn't end up with anyone at all. Teshi likes her gritty moments at times. Might work out for him too. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? Who knows? Anyone else join the... No. Okay. We're gonna move on. So, New Year's resolution, it was fine. You know, we got a test cameo. David shows up. There was an entire section of the review for this video, there was an entire section of this video, the video review for this chapter, where I just went on this tangent about how much I hate David. I probably should at some point make a video explaining why I don't like him, at least not anymore, and among other things that will probably end up in there, but I cut it out because I'm like, it has nothing to do with this chapter, and it did feel a little mean-spirited. I don't want to be mean-spirited. Above all else, I don't want to be mean-spirited, and I try not to do that. So yeah, it is a line you have to shroud. Yeah, we got the tests. They brought up Silvershore, which was extra funny because we were working on that, which I'll talk a little bit more about Silvershore in a bit when we get to the panel itself. But yeah, this is that's the naked squad, you know, they can go be naked together. Seeing Stars, this was the first chapter that started and ended in this in the new year, 2024. This chapter I thought was pretty great, and it was good. It was a good chapter. This was a chapter where I actually didn't have anything I disliked about it. There were things that I was a little cautious of, and I think I was kind of letting the community sway my, you know, things people were saying. I was like, I don't know if we should see it that way, and I was kind of hoping that it wasn't that way. But we don't... Basically, the premise of this is that Lucy is having PTSD dreams, where she's running through an alley. She ends up at a trash can. Who's chasing her? People were mad because they were like, we didn't get any answers, but we did. There are 4 shadowy figures chasing her. Who could they be? That's the question. Are we ever going to find out? Hopefully. If we don't, that's also in line with Teshi. Could be the 4 pets. Could be, you know, Sue and Daisy and Paulo, or Paulo and Mike. Could be, Paulo, Mike, Alejandro, and Toby. You know, who knows who it could be. But I thought this was an excellent chapter to kind of show what's going on inside Lucy's head when she starts acting like a bitch, right? And that's something that we didn't really get a whole lot before. And I mean, like, for the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, yeah, true. That is, it's not something we really got before, but being able to actually see her nightmares, which we have seen before, but Teshi, even though it's obvious that this is in connection with her lashing out, it's better to get it's good that we got a tighter visual of that to link these specific moments with the dream. And you could say that maybe these moments are tied to the 4 figures, but it's just kind of random when it happens. I know people were giving Mike shit for being out here on the track field, but like, how is he supposed to know Lucy's out there, right? Also, Lucy somehow manages to eat her entire sandwich in like a second. She just yum nom nom noms this whole fucking sandwich instantly.
Okay, look, if you're really hungry, it disappears immediately.
She fucking vacuumed that shit up like she's fucking Kirby or some shit, dude. And she's like licking her fingers. I thought this was a cute little cat visual. Like, it's not even like she is licking like her fingertips, which is where the food would be. She's grooming the top of her hand, which is a nice little kitty cat touch. I like that. Is he, here's the thing, is he upset with Mike? Or is he annoyed with her? I don't know why he'd be mad at Mike, because Mike, like, they already talked about this. Now, it is possible that Lucy told him that Mike talked to her in Link Play, but we don't know that. Get character flaws, Augustus, you're too chill these days. Yeah, I really hope that he is not angry at Mike and he's just looking away annoyed that... I don't know, because he's looking at her somberly, and then he's like, it really sucks, maybe annoyed with her. I think he's mad at Mike, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever. It was a good chapter, though. It was good. You know, I actually agreed with Lucy right here. Lucy was kind of based for this, let's be real. Lucy is very based for these 2 pages. I'm also surprised Paulo didn't just start crying. You know? Somehow her arm is like, I don't know, I think her arm could do that, could reach up there. Behind Closed Doors, this was the worst chapter that came out this year. It's not even close. I know it's an intermission. It's going to be slotted as chapter 91, I believe. This chapter sucked. And I can only hope that Teshi does not bring this, that just does away with this shit, dude. I hated this chapter. It was cool that she went back and emulated the thicker art style that she had for the new digital style, but it just kind of disrupts everything that happens later. You can go watch the video I made on this. This video did pretty good numbers.
What do you mean? Sue was best at this chapter.
Fuck you. It just sucks. It's like, it feels like all the character development just like fucking went out the window. And now it just doesn't, it makes everything later not make any sense. I don't even want to really talk about this one because it's just how much I didn't like it. It just fucking sucked. Everyone just sucked in this chapter. And not in a way where it was like understandable. It was just like, it felt forced. Everyone was out of character except for Abby and Sue. That's kind of an L take. But
Rachel.
Abby was kind of in character, but he was a little stretched. I will at least say Abby was stretched. Sue and Paulo already talked about this shit. That's why I'm like, why do this? The critical hit just happened in universe of this chapter happening. So it doesn't make any sense for them to have these fucking hangups, dude. I don't know. I thought it was bad. And I thought this shit was bad too. It's like, fucking Christ, dude.
I mean,
What about Aaron? You know, I guess Aaron was out of the house too. I hated this chapter. It was fucking garbage, dude. You know, I liked it when it was over, but that's about it. You know, I was actually kind of hoping we were gonna get to see, like, it started off pretty good, and I was actually excited to get to see them talk about Swordsvale. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get some world building here. Teshi even admits that this chapter does not need to exist. She even admits that everyone understood what was going on. This chapter changes the context. That's the problem. It changes the context in a way that doesn't make sense. And that, I think, above everything else, that is the worst part about this. I absolutely don't think this chapter should exist. Just saying. It's my humble opinion as an armchair web. I mean, I hate to say I've worked on webcomics before. Like, I've consulted on webcomics before, sure, but this is not. I don't know. I kind of do like this sassy pose she's giving. I'm like, damn, bro, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Sue's just great, man. I fucking What a blessed creature, except for this chap. And the other thing too, it was like this, right? It's like she already had the throwing Lucy in someone's face as a weapon moment, and she immediately regretted it. For her to just do it again, it shows a lack of character development, and it shows that she might just be a fucking cunt. Which I don't want to believe, right? I know she's not. She's a wonderful creature and she means the best, but I don't know. She has to keep up appearances for Abby. If she didn't shit talk Paulo in front of Abby, Abby would kill everybody in that room. That's my headcanon. He would literally murder everybody. Just like his dad. She always was, never. Never. Method acting. We're going from the worst chapter from 2024, from this year, to the best. I loved this chapter. I thought this chapter was the best chapter we have had in a very long time. I can't think of a chapter that I liked more. Good Enough was actually pretty good. I like method acting. What was the last chapter that What is the last chapter that I really, really liked?
Double Down.
Double Down has its issues. I wouldn't say I really, really liked it. I can't think of a chapter that I like Popularity Contest. And even at that, I think I like method acting a little bit more. But Popularity Contest, it does have issues. I don't like the resolution in it, where it's like, Teshi's like, yeah, it's okay to be two-faced to your friends. It's like, the fuck kind of... You have a very impressionable audience. Why the fuck would you tell them that? That sucks. I know it's kind of more realistic, but like if you're trying to teach some sort of moral lesson, it's not the one you should teach. A lot of chapters that I'm just kind of okay on. I thought Guest of Honor was pretty fucking fun, because it takes the characters in a direction we hadn't seen them. We're talking about chapters from like a long time ago. Point is, I really liked method acting. It was a great chapter. It felt like a volume 1 chapter, because it was just a silly little side story that had nothing to do with anything. And we got to meet a whole bunch of new characters. We met some new QT 3.14s, you know. Got Juniper Luniper here. We got like kind of a nice half body here. We have our friend Rena, who suggests they should sleep with every police officer in the police department to get her on her side, which was kind of insane. Especially that this was a high school play. And so we also got who's the other one? Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Yeah, we got Misty Beacon, which is most definitely a reference to the fucking Great Gatsby. What a blessed creature. this is. What blessed creatures that were thrust upon us. And I'll even say this too. I really liked Madison in this chapter. This was a great chapter for Madison. We will talk about the In Defense of Madison streams in a bit, but I really like this Madison. Madison's just gushing over this. And then the whole thing about it's kind of like this is also kind of a fun meta commentary on BCB and the relationship that artists have with their creation. It definitely feels like I don't think Teshi was making this in defense of people accusing her of making BCB over the time that Suitcase may or may not have cheated on her with an internet girl, but it's just kind of a fun character study, character chapter about. We got this funny pose. We had a lot of funny things happening here. You know, I like the little head turn here. The little Madison's just so adorable in this chapter. You'll never hear me say that again. Actually, I hope you do get to hear me say that again, because that means we got an adorable Madison chapter. She was also kind of quiet, like also tying up the loose ends from that chapter all the way back in Pillow Talk, or that flashback in Pillow Talk was like amazing. Like we didn't even know we need this wrapped up, but like Teshi really went back. Like this felt like a chapter that was very inspired. And you can tell when an artist is very inspired about the thing they're working on. And this is one of those things. More cutie pies. I remember when this chapter first came out, or this page, and someone on the BCB thread screenshotted this character and said, "Hello everyone, I would like you to meet my new wife." Oh, it's great, you know?
That wasn't you?
No, that wasn't me. I already have a wife. I really like this moment with Madison. She's like, "Which one, Jess?" Silence, Rena. It's like, oh my god, dude. Also, it's funny that she's like not offended that she would suggest sleeping with the police department. Also, like the being obsessed with boys. It's just a funny little moment. I like this page. And then this page was also great. Listen, people debated me. People debated me with the original ending to this chapter, and I gotta pull it up. I don't know where it is. If somebody can find those pages for me. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it.
The fucking David X Sue thing?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I know where I can find it pretty easily. I'm gonna have to do this on another screen though.
It's interesting how Teshi will sometimes post spoilers to future content.
Well, it really
And
wasn't, because she changed it, right?
Sometimes it's used, sometimes it isn't. Like there was this little fun screenshot of a doodle that with a reference to date night.
I mean, yeah, but it's like by that time she's already changed it so much that it's not a spoiler anymore.
I guess so, but it's still fun just to see, oh, where's this going?
Oh shit, I didn't even see this one. Yo, check this out. We got hold up guys, hold up. I'm gonna post this art here. And then I'm gonna post a link to the post. Here, let me pull this up for everyone else to see. Look at this. Look at this art. Making spirits bright. What fun it is to write and sing a slaying song tonight. Slay. Guys, check this shit out. Awesome. Great image. Good job. Go check this guy out. Ivan14XYU on Blue Sky. Go check that guy out. Go give him some love. There's a lot of great BCB artists on Blue Sky right now. I can't really go down the Blue Sky thread for BCB on stream. Oh my god! Look, there's the Abby with the big ears picture. A lot of this stuff is on the Candy Boru. Well, I'm gonna have to scroll down pretty far. Oh, I can't. what really sucks is that I have to be careful on who I... Damn, there's a lot of really good artists on fucking Blue Sky right now. Holy shit, look at this. Look at this, chat.
Booming. Oh. No more political views.
Look at it.
Oh.
Look at this fucking Lucy butt shot. Everyone's very thick here. A little Disney-like.
Isn't that a little sus?
Not that sus. There's so many great BCB artists on here, bro. What are we even talking about? I'm gonna start following all these people, and hopefully my Blue Sky will be full of BCB art, not shitty political bullshit. Some of these artists will block me the moment they see I'm following them. Ah, God, I'm at to scroll down so far. Oh my God, look at this fucking Daisy. Oh my God.
Just change your username. It's not that hard.
It doesn't matter. I'm like just going through this and like liking every single thing. What the fuck? I wish I could just... I hope Bramble doesn't block me. Here, look at that. Why I keep looking for this one page. Because I would have to scroll pretty far.
Let me know when you found some Moosey art.
Oh wow, she liked the guy that makes the character looks like Sandy. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to scroll back so far for this. It should come as no surprise that I don't really check Blue Sky all that often. You know what? Oh God, what the fuck? This is amazing! Look at these pictures! Look at that Rachel!
Oh, that's Teruko. That's like a very great artist from the BCB Candy Boreal.
Alright, what we're gonna do is while I look for this, you guys can let Roseville Wallflower. By the way, go give Roseville Wallflower on YouTube some love. They only have 3 subscribers, so let's pump those numbers up. Oh my God, look at this fucking... Oh, dude, look at this fucking... Look at this fucking picture, oh my God! Oh my God!
Don't show that again. Art is beautiful, don't get me wrong, art is beautiful, but that shit sucks ass.
Hey, shut up. Can I just... It's a spicy character. Very cute webcomic about teenage cats. Oh, this fucking video that Russ Bus made. I need to ask him if I can upload this to the channel.
Shame on you. Fooled me twice. That's just fucked up. You know I'm dumb as hell. Like, come on. Fool me.
Alright, back to this one. Damn, we're gonna have to scroll pretty far. There's a lot of great BCB art that I have not liked on here, so I'm trying to make sure I get all that. Come on, baby. We're almost there. We're getting closer, I think. Wish I could just search, like... Oh, I could just search by media. I'm a fucking clown.
March.
2 months ago. A lot of Pokemon stuff. Oh wait, is this it? Yes, this is it. This is the one. Okay. Alright, so this right here, guys, this is what I'm talking about. People sent this shit to me. They're like, oh look! Oh look, he's fucking Sulix Polo, mate! Wait, no, Sulix David, mate! I'm so fucking Paulo Sue brain. So this was supposed to be the original ending from a scrapped chapter. Okay. Actually, who knows what this is supposed to be? People said that this was supposed to be the original ending to Method Acting. Because you have these two talking, and they're talking about her play, and she's a little worried because, like, people really like Jessica's play, but they didn't like hers. Then Amaya looks at her with a smile, and then she's like, "Thanks, Amaya. Never do that again." I don't know what she's talking about. And then this happens. Hi, David. And then she gets upset and then fucking leaves. And people said that this was, David was telling James about Sue's play, and he was talking about how it's weird, and then she gets upset. She's like angry. And then David runs away or something. I believe this was confirmed to be somewhere. It was confirmed that it was a chapter. Yeah, so this chapter's actually would have done more to make it look like I'm trying to ignore what's causing Sue's reaction. I think print not to be responsible for this, even though you know I am. There was Sue's embarrassment, anger, and Amaya. Sue's about what does Amaya know? Preparations will find out one day. This better not be. This better not be what I think it is, dude. I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Well, no, because now she wants to put James and David together, which I'm all on board for. Like, if she's literally gonna pussyfoot around every gay ship in the fucking comic and then, like, not do it at all. Like, what better character than the fucking fastest guy in the world, apparently, and James, who I don't know where he stands as far as being fast is concerned. But she seriously cannot think about just randomly shipping two characters together that have zero chemistry, that have never shown at any point that they care about each other. I think David cares more about Sue than she cares about him. But like, it would make no sense. Sue would not. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. That makes me mad. And then we got Rain Check, which is not finished. And I don't know how much I want to say about this chapter because I do want to save it for the video. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Pretty good. There are issues with it.
It's dragging on.
That
fucking scene
is kind of. I think it will be less annoying once the chapter is fully finished and you read it all as one. And this is something I've brought up in a lot of videos where BCB is more annoying if you read it one update at a time. But if you read it all together all at once, it's not as bad. There are still things that are annoying, but you don't have to like wait so long for the next page. You can just, I can just keep going through. So I think this whole section here, which is what they're talking about dragging on too long, I think this section won't be so bad if you read it all together, right? Look at her glow. There are weird issues with the art that I do want to bring up in the video. There's the matter of this happening. This doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's like, it's not that I want Teshi to drag this ship on any longer, but it is that it does, like, he just appears out of nowhere. It's never shown that he's like there. I don't know. It's whatever. The fact that it feels like we're finally getting one of the major storylines wrapped up is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this chapter. It is 90% of this chapter, but it is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the contrivances that brought him to this point, right? And a lot of people still say that they don't really understand why Paulo and Daisy are like going to be a thing. Like, it doesn't. I've talked about it where it's like, I might want to save a lot of this for the video, but I predict there will be a double date between Mike and Sandy with Paulo and Daisy. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. The thing is that what I'm losing the plot. My train of thought is going off track. No, like when you when Augustus brings up in Burnt Bridges that most people don't end up with their third grade crush. Most people don't wind up like just being married to their fucking high school sweetheart either. And you could make the argument, well, they've known each other since they were little kids, so it's different. Like, but the thing is that you're talking about a situation where two characters are more or less forced to see each other every day. Current chapter is boring as shit, like Paisley in general. Yeah, well, that's why I'm always like, Paulo and Sue are the most interesting ship, because there is the most that you could do with that. The most interesting, they're foils for each other. It's a very interesting concept. There's a lot you could do there, and I've done it so many times that even I'm kind of running out of ways to do it in new ways. But when Paulo and Daisy graduate, the current chapter is going like, yeah. When Paulo and Daisy graduate, Daisy is going off to college. Paulo is going to start his career, or he's just going to continue down the path he's going. He's probably going to end up doing that summer thing that his boss Miranda mentioned to him. But if Daisy goes off to college, and they haven't mentioned that there's any sort of university or college in Roseville, they're not going to be seeing each other every day. They might see each other on the weekends, but like, what if Paulo's working on the weekends? It's the summer, and even going into next to the following fall, like, they're gonna drift apart. I'm being fucking serious. Most high school sweethearts, I'm not saying it can't happen, but you're talking about two characters that are not foils for each other. Like, you could say, oh, it's the cool kid with the nerdy, unpopular girl, right? But it's not like Daisy's unpopular. That's the thing. Sue is unpopular, but Daisy, like, people like Daisy, right? And there are other boys that like Daisy. What guy that isn't McCain has shown any romantic interest in Sue? There are none. But there's plenty of guys that have shown romantic interest in Daisy. So it's not even like they're an interesting foil where they can build off of each other. It's just like this nerdy girl that looks up to Paulo, but there's so many of those. There are so many girls that think this guy is hot, right? So what separates Daisy from the rest of them? It is the way it is. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad ship by any means. It's far from the worst ship in this comic, but it just doesn't gel. And this is not a ship that I really see lasting much longer after high school. Paulo's gonna go off with his career buddies. Daisy's gonna meet new people in college. They're gonna drift apart. It's just gonna happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe Paulo and her will move into the same dorm, and she'll, but we'll have to see. If Teshi continues the comic, we'll have to see how it plays out. Realistically, these two would probably not be romantically involved. It's just like they have a weird fascination with each other that I don't understand. And maybe it's because, like, I'm not, like, romantically involved with either of these characters. I don't understand it. It makes sense to them. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I just don't know. But for my money, it's really not that interesting. This was a ship that I did find really cute at one point. But I wrote Cream Color Joy, and I basically expended every idea that I could. Well, they get together in Scarf and Bow, but it's just... I just don't know. It's just a ship that I'm like, it's fine. I think Musi is a little bit better, but there's so much damage between those two that it's kind of hard to say for sure. I don't know. Bottom line, it was a mixed year for BCB. We had one of the worst chapters we've had in a while, with one of the best chapters we've had in a long while. I think overall this year was better. We only had one chapter that I really actually hated. New Year's Resolution was fine. Seeing Stars was a little bit better. Method Acting was really great. Rain Check is pretty good so far. Behind Closed Doors is so bad though. It's just so awful. I am so happy. By the way, that scrap chapter is done, Rings. It's fucking toast. Even if she tells the Patreons what happens. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna switch over to why is it like this? It was not like this early. I don't know. We have the Fannel year in review. This was a big year for the Fannel. We did a lot of growing. I actually don't know how many subscribes. Oh right. Oh right, we went from 400 subscribers at the start of this year to 682. That's 282 subscribers this year. That's really good. I'm very happy about that. Let's talk about each video though. Or we're going to do a brief rundown. So we ended off last year very strong with Fintervention. People really liked that one. And it was good. I think it came together very well. We had the Let's Play for the BCB RPG, which I would highly recommend you guys go play it. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of fun Easter eggs in it. It's just a good time. I do want to do a full review on it, maybe even try to do some speedruns of it, see what we can do. I do have my plate full with a lot of other things that I'm currently streaming, but I would like to actually just do a Twitch stream playing through the entire thing instead of like 10-minute bites. The ending was so unexpected for me. Yeah. BCB fans after December, you got to keep in mind a lot of these videos I have been sitting on for a long time. Like this one I had been sitting on for a long time. This one I'd been sitting on for a long time. I have videos that I made earlier this year that have not gone up yet. I thought it would be fully like Earthbound. The speed conversion, which I haven't really done any in a while because now I have Owl 3D that just does it for me. I do need to do some manual editing to the 3D. Like this shot in particular, when we talk about Silver Shore a little bit later, I actually had to go in and do a little bit of finagling with the characters and cutting them out so that the 3D came out properly. This one, how fast is Mike speaking? So this is in reference to the page in... Here, I'll just pull it up. This is in reference to the New Year's resolution page where they're counting down from 10 to 5. And Mike says all this stuff. And I get that on paper, in your head, like this, everyone chanting 10, 9, 8, 7. And then Mike saying this overly dramatic speech. Like, it makes sense. Like, it sounds really dramatic. But when you think about it, he would have to talk so fast in order for this to work. It's a little comedic. A little funny. 400 subscriber question and answer. People want me to do another one. I'll probably end up doing another one for 700 if we make it there. Why you're finally awake. This was taken from the comic dub. This is actual footage of, you know, the dub. Because it is edited like this. And I was like, it's too perfect for the Skyrim meme. Like, she wakes up and she's on the carriage. Why critical hit works?
Skyrim meme in the fucking dub?
What? No, the meme is not in the dub. I'm just saying, like, the editing before the meme is in the dub. Why critical hit works. This video was mainly made because I wanted to make a really positive video about the comic. This was kind of a nitpicky thing. This had some things I said about the comic weren't really great. I actually really haven't... Yeah, the pets video, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, the pets. Digital...
Date night.
So... Yeah, date night, and I just felt like I was very negative towards the comic, and I wanted to make a video going like, hey, you know what? There are chapters that I really like, and I think Critical Hit is really good. Outside of the obvious Paulo X Sue tension, I think it is a good character study of characters, basically, just in general. And we also get to see the characters in a place that we haven't seen them before. They're in an art museum. That is a unique place. There's also some fun comedic bits. Like when Daisy's like, I find euthanasia fascinating. And then Sue gives her this look. was like, yeah, I don't blame her. Daisy's kind of wild for saying that. I can't believe Daisy is for eugenics. That's crazy. This is a good chapter. I just wanted to make a video where I talk positively about the comic. I want to keep it balanced. I don't want this to be vitriolic. I don't want it to be overly negative. I want to give credit where it's due. And I knew that I would never get to critical hit in like the next several lifetimes because I'm dragging my feet on these chapter reviews. Daisy is an autist like me for real, yeah. Boom Chaka. This was actually a Amazil joke that I put together and then I uploaded it as a video. Update on the Silver Shore dub. I really thought it was going to be done this year. I was like, oh, the music will be done. Humphrey said it'll take like 2 weeks to do the music. And then he was like, well, I'm having... He was going through some stuff and he was having a difficult time coming up with anything. And then he was like, well, the things I want to do, I can't do with the equipment that I have, which I was totally fine with them using the equipment. I think the score for Confrontation was really well done. But he was like, yeah, I don't have the equipment that I need or want to have in order to do this justice. And he does still want to do the music. It's going to be at least 6 months before he gets the keyboard that he wants, right? He said he was going to get it back in October. Did not happen, or at the end of October he was going to be able to buy it. Did not happen. He will not have it for 6 months, which means that the dub at the earliest won't come out till July and June. If it comes out then. Yeah, next summer, which is fine because it takes place during summer vacation, and this will give me an opportunity to get a head start on the other dubs, which I have started doing. I have started reaching out for voice actors and actresses. By the way, if you guys are interested in doing some voice acting for the next several projects that we want to do, then please hit me up. We have plenty of characters to go around for everybody. So yeah, we have main characters, we have side characters, we have characters that have 1 or 2 lines, characters that only show up for a chapter, so there's no real big commitment. This video did extremely well. This video had a lot of engagement, the strange nostalgia of Sabrina Online. And by the way, I already know what I'm doing for April Fool's this year, right? Well, I might not... We'll see. We'll see. It might not be at the place I need the comic to be at for me to make the video on it, but... Sabrina Online is a great webcomic. This was a really awesome video to make. I love the character. It is a very nostalgic webcomic for me, even though I didn't read it till I was a full-grown adult, dude. Like, it was only a couple... God, I say a couple of years ago. It was
the video
like...
exploded.
It was like, yeah, it was like 8 years ago or something where I first read Sabrina Online, and I'm like super nostalgic for it, but... Yeah, it was really good. I like putting it together. I like the 20 past 4 Noble Oak music and put into the background. I really recommend reading Sabrina Online. It is absolutely worth it. You have 20 years of comic. And I'll talk about BCB's future in a little bit once we get through this, or once we get done with the Tales from the Candyverse and I talk a little bit about that. But I'm making a prediction. BCB is either going to end this year or it is going to end next year on the 20th anniversary of the comic. There is a high chance.
2024?
What?
You said this year, as in 2024. It's going to end today.
No, it's going to end in 2025 or 2026.
Then...
Shut up. You know what I mean. There's a very real chance it ends in 2025. Where Paulo and I think she has 1 more volume of this she has 1 more volume for BCB in her, which honestly could go on for another several years the way Teshi drags her feet on this shit, but it's a very real possibility that it ends either this year or next year, or you know what I mean, 2025 or 2026, those 2 years. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Donde Esta Lucy stream, I forget why this one is here. I think there was like a copyright issue that I had to deal with. This was a video that I had been sitting on for a very long time, this meme video. New Year's resolution recap. That's just me going over New Year's resolutions. And in the funny, epic chapter that was, Bittersweet Candy Bowl Silver Shore trailer. This was back when I thought that it was coming out this year. This was a really good, I really like this trailer. You guys don't understand. By the time these projects get out to you guys, I have not only been sitting on them for like a long fucking time, but I have had the idea for them for a long time. Like, I know Silver Shore has changed as the production has gone on. Like, we've added a 3D version of it. We added it, we made it 2 parts. But a good chunk of that, like I'd say 95% of Silver Shore is exactly how I imagined it in my head back in like 2021. No, back in 2022 or 2023 when I started working on it. You guys don't understand. Like, I have been thinking about this shit. It lives in my head rent-free. All these ideas that I want to do. And it's so good that you guys finally kind of get to see what I've been thinking about for so long. This is a video that was sent to me by an anonymous person via email. And I need to set up some more Bittersweet Candy BCB Fanel official stuff. I need to get an official Blue Sky, an official Twitter. We have a Tumblr. I need to get an official email for us. I might actually work on that after this stream. But this was emailed to me, and they said that they used to be a huge fan of BCB, that this was a video that they saved from way back when they were a fan of it, and they actually had more videos. I replied to the email, but I never heard back from them. But they gave me permission to upload this, so I had been sitting on this one for a while. This is when... I feel like I just made this video, by the way. This was 8 months ago. It feels like I just made that Eternal Flame video. It's nuts. Teshi did make changes, dialogue and some art changes to Eternal Flame. I think for the better. I think for the better. These were good changes. It makes Mike more sympathetic. It makes him less bitter. It's good. Do you like Musi? This was another funny one. They all hated me. This one did very well. Also, this one did very well, but it's because it's Sir Palo. This shit, dude. They all hated me. Oh, it was so perfect.
About that too.
It was so perfect. Everyone's like, this is the funniest shit ever. Don't mind all the Sprunky content that's being recommended to me. Sprunky takes me back to a time when I was like in high school and people would make like these really shitty Sonic and Amy videos. The great thing about Sprunky is that it's very easy to draw, so anybody can do it. And I do have a Sprunky and BCB meme crossover video coming for you guys, so keep your eyes peeled for that next year. Then we have trailer 2 for Silver Shore. This was also back when I thought it was coming out this year. I actually really like this trailer. This was an amazing trailer. And I do have a third trailer that was supposed to come out this year, assuming that the music was gonna get done next year, but I don't know. Well, I'm gonna play it by ear. We're gonna wait and see on that. Is Mike a cheater? This was actually this is not a video that was this might have been a video that someone recommended that I make. I did see a lot of people saying, is Mike a cheater? Is he not a cheater? So I went down the facts. Did Mike cheat? Every time he kissed another person, was he cheating? I determined that the only time that Mike cheated, that Mike did something, because look, if someone else kisses you and you don't even know they're going to do it, like that doesn't count, right? That sucks. But Mike kissing Daisy, that was overt cheating. Mike kissing Lucy, sorry, Lucy kissing Mike, so technically it still doesn't count as cheating. So yeah, Mike is a cheater. Plain and simple. He even says it himself. He wanted to be. He wanted it. So yeah, you can't really defend it. He wanted to be a cheater and he was.
Uh,
Why did I get added? Oh, Turtle WoW community.
It's Some fanfic dubs or readings.
LeBron Scream feel like this was me trying to jump on a trend. This video kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Who is chasing Lucy? This was a video I put out really quickly about who's chasing Lucy. Is it Lucy herself? Is it Alejandro? Is it Mike? Is it all her friends? Are we not gonna see? By the way, I was right. Eventually I was right. I'm like, we're not gonna get to see who it was. I was totally right, guys. I was right. I knew it the whole time. Look, if you make enough guesses, at least one of them's going to be right. It's like people say Nostradamus was some prophet, but he made 8 million fucking prophecies. Eventually, some of them were going to be right, and they're generic enough for them, some of them, to match up. I'm here by not only me. This is a video that I forgot that I had. So for those of you who don't know, I'm here was the most read BCB fanfic. It overtook Scarf and Bow as the most read one. And I made a video talking about it. I'm like, this is a really good story. Go check it out. It is not safe for work, by the way. Keep that in mind. But it was lost to time. It just disappeared and nobody could find it. And then I was digging through my my archives because I'm like, I got to have something about this. I made a video on it. I have to have saved something. And it turns out that I actually read the first chapter. So I uploaded it because it was like the only thing left of it. And then it turns out, and I haven't made a video about it. Actually, I might have made a video about it. I don't think I made a video about it. But someone actually did find I'm Here. And it was saved. We did download it as a PDF, and I have it saved on my hard drive. I love Smiling Friends. Smiling Friends Season 2 was pretty good. I especially loved this episode with the president. That's one of my favorite episodes. Seeing Stars recap. We already talked about Seeing Stars. Behind Closed Doors and Omnibus Announcement 2. This was back when I was making a lot of videos. Rapid fire videos. And they are making a second Omnibus. That's exciting, right? I mean, they're going to put that shitty Behind Closed Doors in there. I was very optimistic. And I put it at the beginning of the Behind Closed Doors review. But I was very optimistic. Like, the last few chapters have been okay. I am optimistic that this might... It is a needle she will have to thread. But I think she might be able to do it. She did not. She went... It won't fit. So
Rob, you are going to eventually make the Omnibus versus separate volumes video soon, right?
I still need to finish reading the other physical books so I can make the video about, like, I read all the physical BCB books and this is what I learned. I was kind of waiting for Volume 7 to come out to finish it, but there really isn't much in Volume 7, and they didn't really add any, like, extra splash pages to it like they did with the other volumes. I am not that big of a fan of the Volume 7 book. I think it's I don't want to say it's lazy, because obviously it took a lot of effort, but, like, compared to the other ones, it was like... unless they were trying to pad pages in the other volumes, it was just kind of like, where's all the extra shit? This is when we needed a composer, but then Humphrey started getting his groove back, and so I was like, okay, we don't need that. I might actually... I should delist that. This was just commentary between me and Karif, who voiced Felix for the Finnervention dub. I do plan on doing a commentary for Merry Christmas Roseville, even though I have mixed feelings about that dub. I'll talk about it in a bit. This was from a stream that I did where I was playing Tamagotchi Life, and my character was being Angry Face. This character, Angry Face, was confessing their love to my me, and then Daisy showed up, and she's like, "Wait, I love you too." And then my me decided to go with Daisy. It was awesome. I've also been playing Mitomo, and I've had like all the BCB characters in there. I actually do want to stream Mitomo at some point. It's a lot of fun. This video I loved this video. This shit's so funny. We're gonna watch it right now, actually. I'm gonna turn up the volume on my headset so I can hear this properly. This shit's...
First question tonight goes to Michael.
Michael, why are you so evil? You have 1 second to respond.
Hello, Time's up, plus you're wrong. The next question is for our beloved and highly intelligent
Lucy.
Why are you so amazing? You have unlimited time to respond.
Fuck you! Fuck off! Jag off!
That answer was correct!
It's so good. I mean, it's true. It's the realest shit ever, right? Like, people do be acting like this.
Thing that got you banned right there with Bad Webcomics Wiki.
Yeah, here, let me readjust everything. This was for the 3-year banniversary, and I basically decided to go back, with 3 years of hindsight, go back in and review the review for the BCB on the Bad Webcomics Wiki. I basically said everything, but in a more nuanced way. I just went point by point, and I was like, yeah, this person's wrong about all these things, and I did use the original volumes 1, 2, and 3, so I wasn't just like, oh, well, you know, she rewrote it, so you have the benefit of hindsight. No, I was like, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to use the information and material that they had at the time to refute the things that they're saying. I think that this, obviously, the review, the Bad Webcomics review is made in jest, but I think a lot of it was very bad faith. It was malicious, it was stupid, and it was also a very stupid thing to get banned over. When you ban people, you basically create a Streisand effect, right? Because human beings are naturally curious about the things that they're not allowed to look at. And so if you're telling people not to look at something, they're gonna want to look at it. If you start banning people over this review, they're gonna want to look at it. They're gonna be like, okay, well, what are you trying to hide? And I don't even know why they're upset about it, because it's shit that happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, unfortunately, they seemingly haven't changed. Unfortunately, they might have changed for the better a little bit.
Slightly less paranoid.
Yeah, it was really dumb. This is when I decided that I wanted to start doing fanfiction readings again. And so I was like, yeah, fuck it. We're going to read ad libitum. This video did very well. I was extremely surprised at how well this video did. The rest of them did not do nearly as well. People don't really give a shit about the fan. Oh, they like this one a little bit. But yeah, it was surprising, shocking how well this video did. And I'm glad it did well. This is a really... I do have some... There are grammatical errors, and I think there's another big brain word about writing that ad libitum has an issue with. There are a lot of run-on sentences. There are a lot of sentence structures that don't make sense. There are misspelled words. There are misplaced words. Wrong tense is used a lot. Going through and reading it, I have to pick a balance between reading what would make sense versus what is being put there. And I trip over myself so many times trying to read the story because it's just all over the place. I'm not shitting on Lackluster. They wrote a very interesting story. And I think to an extent they were better at building up the ramping up that confession from Sue. My biggest issue with it is that Sue just is like, I love you. And her reasoning for it is, I just think you're handsome. I have a crush. I just like you. And she doesn't, maybe, I haven't read it like the whole thing in a while, so maybe she'll explain it later. But it didn't seem like a strong enough, it was just like, I just like you because I like you. That's literally the reason why Paulo and Daisy like each other. I like you because I like you. I wanted to... Not So Different was actually going to be kind of similar, where Sue was just constantly giving Paulo shit, and then eventually he snaps back and he's like, why the hell do you keep bothering me? Leave me alone. And then she admits reluctantly she's doing it because she likes him. And then that leads into like them hanging out and then them kind of getting to know each other. And I didn't write it because of this story. I didn't write it that way because of the story. And I wanted to write something where they actually learned to get along, and they went from hating each other to liking each other. And I think that's like I think both ways are interesting, but I like the route that I ended up taking, which is now the route I always take with these two, whether or not they end up together. It's always like they fight, and then they feel bad, and then they talk about their differences, and they come to an understanding, and then they might make out or something. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, ad libitum, great story. The assassination. We'll talk about the live streams in a moment, but character assassination of Abby. This was a really interesting document. I hope Agent Chimenez makes more of them, because I really liked going through it. And it, like I said, it did open my eyes up to certain things that I never thought about before with BCB, which is like which is like Daisy trying to de-escalate conflicts. That was an interesting perspective that I didn't have. Now, it eventually becomes the I Hate Paulo variety hour, which is what the Madison one ends up becoming. Or no, that wasn't the Madison one. There was another thing that we read on stream that was basically, oh, I hate Paulo. State of the Fanel address. This is just me talking about, how things have been for the last 3 years and where we're going in the future. There is literally no way that I get unbanned. It will literally just never happen. If I get unbanned, Hitler's gonna have to put on ice skates because hell will have frozen over. It's just not gonna happen. It does hurt a little bit. I put in so much effort. Even the videos that don't seem like they're a lot of effort, like the fan fiction readings, it's a lot of effort. I have to sit down, I have to go through the flubs, I have to do all this stuff. And I put in so much thought and effort into a lot of this stuff, and to come up with fresh new ideas to keep things interesting with the Fanel, and like working on these comic dubs. And it's like, it feels like the Fanel is one official Discord project away from like nobody giving a shit about it anymore. It's like, why would you care about the dubs we're putting together when the official Discord could do one? And it's like, then it's like everyone can openly confess how much they love it, but people are discouraged and are not allowed to openly confess liking the Fanel. If they do, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Maybe people don't like the Fanel. I'd say, given that we're at 682 subscribers for a pretty niche webcomic, we're doing pretty well. I know a lot of that is probably a furry crossover, but it does weigh on me. It's like no matter how much effort I put into it, whatever the official community does, which is great. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But it feels like it's just gonna completely overshadow all the work that we've done. It's like with Silver Shore. I have poured 3 years of my life. It'll be 3 years in 2025 on that, and I actually still want to make edits to it. I actually want to make a version of it that's all one dub and combine both parts together, but it's going to require a little bit of retooling. It's like I put so much effort into it, and like, sure, it's probably going to do well, but like, no one's going to be allowed to talk about it. You can't talk about that guy. You're going to get in trouble. You're not allowed to talk about him. Well, why not? Because you just can't. You're not allowed to ask why either. Apparently, that's one of the rules now. You can't ask why somebody was banned. You can't ask why somebody's not there. It sucks. So many people have worked on it. I'm talking literally dozens of people have put their time and effort and energy, and I know I'm getting completely off topic. I'm ranting about personal shit. You know too much about Teshi's past, like certain comments used to make, that the likes of Agent Jimenez would hate. I think Agent probably knows about a lot of that. The thing is that what matters is that people grow and they learn from their mistakes, right? And I think to a lot of the degree, Teshi has done that, right? Like, we can sit here and get mad about Carson and be like, oh, he's a stereotypical homosexual, flamboyant homosexual character. But you could make the argument James is almost as bad. But it's like, yeah, that was the time. Like, it's a product of its time. And I don't falter for that. It is what it is. It was a product over time. It was a joke made by her Skype friend group. Who fucking cares? It was 10 years ago. It was over 10 years ago. So who cares? Right? Anyway. BCB is narrated by Amaya. I do want to do a BCB, but it's voiced by real cats, right? I want to do like one where like all the characters are like meowing, or like the dogs are barking, the birds are chirping. I think it'd be funny. Nah, remember the fit she made about the bunny drawings? She doesn't, and if her and many of them are Tumblr right side of hash fandom video, it could be bad for her. What bunny drawings? Oh, are you talking about the are you talking about the one where Mike is Hugh Hefner? Because that's still on the Candy Boru. It's whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't want to make any videos that, like, I intentionally, outside of my own personal drama, I don't want to make videos that, like, oh, let's cancel Teshi and Suitcase, the one Russian artist drew.
They're talking about narrator?
Oh, you talking about narrator? Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Here, let's I wonder if it's why did I close out the BCB tab? I'm so dumb. Let's take a look. I think narrator's art's still on here actually. Yeah, they didn't remove his stuff. He's still doing BCB art, by the way. I won't post any here because like some of it's safe for work, some of it's not. A lot of it's safe for work, but I won't post it because, you know, they haven't given me permission to. This one right here, I assume you're talking about this.
Really cute.
And by the way, of all the anger, like, he got banned for this picture and it's still on the Candy Boru. There are worse things on the Candy Boru than this. I need you all to understand. If you dig through the Candy Boru, you will. I have found some shit that I don't even feel comfortable putting in the Fannel Discord. By the way, check out the Fannel Discord. Here, let me put this on the bottom. Here, let me pull something up for you guys.
It takes one person to say something to really cause the whole iceberg to come crashing down on the ship.
Well, I don't want that to happen. That Teshi and Suke still have their faults, but it's not. I don't want to hurt them. That sucks. Here, Mike, Sue, Lucy, Daisy, Sandy. I misspelled Sandy because I'm dumb. Let's see. Yeah, here it is.
There it is.
And so people got upset about this, right? And then Teshi does this. This is by the way, I don't have an issue with this. They're her characters. She can draw them however she wants. But like you can't. And by the way, this is not the first time that Teshi has drawn Lucy in a bunny outfit.
Ew.
Oh, thank God there's only 5 pages. Yeah, this one right here. This is very clearly like a reference to this image. And the fact that they gave narrator shit for this. When Teshi drew this stuff, it is so hypocritical. I literally cannot fathom. I cannot fathom why they got so mad. Well, a narrator's got to draw smaller images. Holy fuck. It is a little silly. I think that narrator. Now, narrator did talk about some things privately to an individual that it wouldn't have been my first choice. Part of our audience is already very sensitive though if they find out what Teshi did, they could leave, which is why they won't unban you. I'm not trying to expose Teshi. That's the thing. Like, whatever. She drew not safe for work of her character. I'm just gonna put it out there. Teshi drew not safe for work of her characters when they were even younger than this when they were like 13 or whatever. Whatever. They're her characters. It doesn't matter. It was like 15 years ago. Who cares? If people are gonna pearl clutch over drawings that she made of her own characters 15 years ago, it was a different time. That's not necessarily a defense you can use for everything, but it's not like something to stop reading the comic over. She could just be like, yeah, that's just what we did at the time. You know, I presumably haven't drawn anything like that since. Maybe she does privately and hasn't showed it to anybody. But narrator, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. So for those of you who don't know, this is known as a Virgin Killer sweater, which is a sweater design that did not exist until well into the 2010s. I think it was like 2014 is when this sweater design was created. And by that time, Sandy would be like in her mid-20s. If she's like 17 now, in 2008, she'd be like in her mid to late 20s by that point. And so this is very clearly the intellectual dishonesty to sit here and say that this design for Sandy, which looks completely different than how she looks in the comic. Her hair is shorter, she's obviously larger, her proportions are more adult. To sit here and say that he drew a teenager wearing a fetish sweater, and whether or not the Virgin Killer sweater is a fetish thing or not, I have no horse in that race. I don't know. I'd have to do more research on it. It is intellectually dishonest to believe that narrator is a pedophile because he drew this image. The issue with the in-crowd community is that they seemingly try to pretend that anything that exists outside of that Discord does not exist. That it is inherently bad. One of the most read story until it was deleted, I'm Here, had a lot of not safe for work scenes in it. I was actually in the process of reading the rest of the chapters for the Fanel, and I was like, you know, I probably shouldn't put this. This is like a lot of really saucy stuff. And you cannot sit here and pearl clutch about this. A character that is very clearly an adult wearing a sweater that was huge in the fashion world. A character that is known for this exact thing. And be like, this person's a pedophile, this is wrong, when the most read BCB fanfiction had a lot of not safe for work in it. It is absurdly hypocritical, and it is very clear that for whatever reasons that she had, and I'm not saying that they're unfounded, I personally would not have discussed a not safe for work story with an individual from the official Discord, even though that individual was still over age. I would not have discussed it with them. It is very clear that Agent Chimenez just did not like narrator and used this as an excuse to ban them. Clearly, it was not enough of an issue to stop people from favoriting it, and to also still have all of this art on the Candy Baru. So clearly Suitcase and Teshi do not find these images to be problematic. That whole thing was so stupid. It is unreal. It is so obvious. Sandy is drawn as an adult here. Teshi has drawn these characters as adults. That's all I gotta say about that. it's absolutely hypocritical to be mad about this and then to be like, oh, well, this is okay then. Come on.
Can I mention?
Get
can I mention
real.
A little thing. May I mention something?
Grow up. What?
Yeah. I was gonna say, Tremendous is saying that, you know, they have a problem with this when they have a pretty sus art of Rachel and Augustus in the candy board.
Well, there's a lot of fucking sus art of that
But
Teshi has
still,
done
since-
with these
but
characters.
this-
Well,
but
we'll
this
go
is-
look
since
at
this
it.
is coming from
And
Tremendous.
by the way, I think Agent Chimenez is a fantastic artist. She's done a lot of really good stuff. Maybe not stuff I've entirely agreed with, and a lot of their opinions I haven't agreed with, but I think they are a very good artist. They have a very soft art style.
Right there.
Where? This one?
Right. To the right bottom.
This one isn't that bad. That's not
It's
that
still-
bad.
It's still pretty sketchy. It's still pretty sketchy.
Eh,
If you're gonna bitch about the whole Sony thing,
it's a little bit of a stretch.
Look at
It's not necessarily something that I would be like, oh well, that's too far, right? You want to talk about sexualizing minors? Like, come on. And this is an excellent. This was labeled as excellent, which is the top of the top. This is the images that Teshi and Suitcase really like. So, it is hypocritical. It is very clear that Agent just did not like narrator for whatever reason and decided that they were going to use whatever bullshit excuse to get them banned. Now, I am all on board for I am all on board for not discussing not safe for work topics with people that are clearly averse to that sort of thing, even if they are adult. Because I have seen the screenshots. Narrator sent them to me, and I was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have said this. I would not have banned you over this, but I would have talked to you and been like, yeah, please don't say this. Like, ask people before you talk about these kinds of things, right? Like, even with Rustbus, who I know is... Sorry, Rustbus. I'm so sorry, Russ. Even Rustbus, who I know is fine with purveying some of this art, I always preface things like, and I need you to understand that this is this kind of art. Are you okay with seeing this? Yeah, I know, I want to see it. Okay, fine, here it is. Narrator didn't do that. So I am all on board for him getting like in trouble and getting talked to about that sort of thing. I don't think he should have gotten banned for the art. That it was just a silly thing that happened. They're pretty unreasonable, I agree, but that's the reason they won't ban you. That's part of the reason. It's I don't know. I'm done talking about Agent Chimenez. We're done talking about that. BCB is narrated by Amaya. This is the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. Right here, this video. Literally just Amaya. Do you guys like I put the trans pride flag around their border, by the way? It's a nice little thing. It's funny because they don't talk at all. And so they're narrating it and they're not saying anything. It's the obvious joke to make. But the video did take some time. It wasn't like I just slapped something together. It did take some time. Once again, Scale Knight is awesome. And by the way, if you guys haven't seen, Scale Knight in fact has their own webcomic called Boxes of Chocolates. I would highly recommend you guys go check this comic out. It is very good. Here. I'm going
very
to...
BCB inspired.
Yeah, it's
Love it.
maybe a little bit too close to BCB as far as designs. And there are
But
some
we also
grammatical and art inconsistencies, but it's a very nice webcomic. I highly recommend going to check it out. Give it some love. But he keeps making these comics, these memes that I can't help myself but make videos out of. And that's what this one was. Oh. Let's see. But if you close your eyes, it was about behind closed doors. This one, the one where Juniper is giving the speech from Return of the King, Behind Closed Doors review, Lucy's Leap. This was like a really so this is like a thing from Thomas and the Magic Railroad, where the lady at the station, her name is Sharon Stone. Actually, I don't remember what her name is, but she says Lucy's Leap, and it's like, oh, it's the thing she jumped. Hey, I'll tell you this too. In the Polar Express, the conductor says, "What in the name of Mike?" If I had a nickel for every magical train movie that was just a random, they made a random reference to a BCB name, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it is very, very weird that it happened twice. I know obviously they're not referencing BCB, but come on.
Holy David.
Upstage has been scanned in. Now, we have done some live streams of playing Upstage. It is a pretty fun game. I have not won a single time. I suck at that game. I just can't do it. I don't even know. I'm too much of an
You
idiot.
call yourself the BCB fan. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Flames of Disaster. This was a meme of the time. The Volume 7 Kickstarter. This year was Volume 7's Kickstarter. I got a huge haul. Got all this. And by the way, I have used that pencil case a lot. It was a lot of stuff. I honestly think I made out like a bandit. I still haven't used like the window stickers. I just didn't want them to melt to my window. But maybe I'll put them up there for you guys to see. I wonder if I put them up there if you guys would be able to see it, but it's kind of like, it's so blown out that you can't really do that. I got it during the summer and it was really hot. I just didn't want them to melt to the window. So I have them hidden in one of the books up there so they stay nice and safe. Maya's Worth It meme, Tabletop Sim, the fanfiction contest giveaway, which I believe all of the books have actually made their way to the people that won or that entered the contest. I paid $87 to ship something out of the US, so that was fun. Draw stream announcements too. This was me talking about some things that Teshi said on the draw stream. Basically stuff I've already talked about here, which is like the gay baiting stuff. I was like, that's kind of a silly thing to say. BCB 2009 spoilers. I wanted to make like a nostalgic video. Like, what if somebody from 2009 went to the year 2015 and then came back and said all these BCB spoilers? It's kind of a weird premise. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I was like going through and listening to like all this nostalgic like YouTube free to use music, and I was like, oh, I want to make a Windows Movie Maker video. And I actually edited this into Windows Movie Maker. It was a pain in the ass. It was a huge pain in the ass to edit in Movie Maker, but I got it done. I got it done. What if Alejandro was charged for his crimes? That's another video that I had been sitting on for quite some time. I do want to speed this up a little. Oh no, we're almost done here. Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't do better, but I was like, yeah, let's throw this guy in jail for like 1,000,000 years, dude. Realistically, Alejandro would be put away for life. Like, he would go away for life. That's it. He'd have life in jail with no payroll. With no parole. That is relatable. This one doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with this meme. The BCB popularity poll, which was not nearly as long as I was expecting it to be, they really cut it down by cutting. They cut the bullshit. They were like, all right, what's your favorite character? Oh, it's this person. Okay, see ya. You know, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Wait, did they announce the winners yet?
I don't know. Just mic it. So this is a video that was requested of me to make. Someone in the panel was like, can someone Photoshop Mike's face over these fucking seals? And I was like, I didn't know if I was gonna actually be able to do it properly, but I just started working on it. Could Alejandro be killed by cartels we don't know about it? Probably not.
No, you have to be all the way in Mexico. Just for that to happen.
Yeah. I just sat down and
Mexico.
worked on it, and it's just a random weird video that I made. Also, the background music stopped. We'll start that up again. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Oh no, it didn't stop. It's still going. Just very quiet. it gonna be louder than not very loud? By the way, the video we're listening to is called 1999 New Year's Eve Nostalgia. Oh my goodness. I need like 5 monitors to do live streaming, guys. It's not even fucking funny. Farewell Bailey. This was a tough one to do. Alejandro's probably from Ecuador, probably. He's probably, I know people that want to kiss Alejandro on the mouth. And I'm not necessarily saying they're wrong for it, but like, there are some Alejandro simps in the BCB community. They just, hey, you know, I can kind of see it. If you look past all the abuse, I can see why people would like the rugged, kind of rough and tumble diamond in the rough guy. People love Ted Bundy, that is true. Farewell Bailey, that was a rough video. It is the reason why I cannot give up on finishing Silver Shore. Right? Silver Shore has to finish. It has to be done and it has to get released. And I do want to do a theatrical screening of it still. I haven't given up on that because I'm insane. But if not for me, for Bailey, who voiced Tess and Molly and did such a phenomenal job, and it really sucks that they're gone. It was like literally, it affected me a lot more than I expected it to. And it is kind of rough going back to do stuff like editing the dub, because there are still things that have to be done. But it'll release. It'll release. It's gonna come hell or high water. I will release it. I did make a burner account in Banevade in the BCB Fanel, or not the BCB Fanel Discord. In the official BCB Discord, I made a burner account and I put my my memoir or the eulogy or whatever you want to call it, and I was like, here's art that they made for the dub that never got released, and here is part 1 and part 2. It's not finished, but if you want to, you know, appreciate and enjoy Bailey's performance, there you go. Obviously that account got banned. I didn't expect it to stick around, but I'm glad seemingly a lot of people were able to see it before it got taken down. It was rough, man. I remember like over Thanksgiving, like I was just like in such a funk, dude. I was so tilted. I was so bent out of shape. I don't really like thinking about it. It's very sad. I had a dream a couple of weeks ago, like a week or so ago, where it was like about Bailey, and my dream self learned that they passed away, and my dream self just like cried unconsolably. Like it was insane. Like just like the most bitter, like despondent tears, and it was like that was like the entire emotion in my head, where it was like I just couldn't believe it. The collab on the BCB site has a bad quality. I can't read anything on it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just like by the nature of whatever program they were using to do it in. Bittersweet candy memes. This one was one that I worked on for a while off and on, and I actually really like this. There were so many memes that I sat on that I wanted to show people, but I couldn't because it was all going to be in this video. But I really like the Bittersweet Candy Memes 2 video. And we love our sequels, right? Dahmer wants to watch BCB, speaking of serial killers. And then, of course, Merry Christmas Roseville, a Candyverse story. This is a test bed, a test run for basically what I want to do with Tales from the Candyverse. Not the fanfiction part, but like the next dub after Silver Shore that I want to work on is going to be called Tales from the Candyverse. And I want to have these interstitials with the live actor, and then like the dubs of the comic in between. I know that this is a paid comic. It literally says that you can share these comics with a trusted few. I know that it was many, 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 many years ago, but Suitcase went on one of the 4chan threads for BCB and said that you can just share the BCIs with people. There is enough in this dub where it's not just like we're uploading paid content for free. I put a lot of work into this thing. Like we turned it, I did this in like 2 weeks. We turned it around. Like it was fast turnaround. And keep your ear out because a lot of these voice actors are going to be coming back for the other dubs. But I drove all the way out to West Virginia to see my friend and spent like an hour recording the video and then drove back in the snow. It was insane. But I was like, it's all for the good of the video to come out on Christmas Eve. And I'm always proud of the work we do. I know there's a lot of audio issues with it. That's on me. But there's also things about it that I really like. I think it was a good test run, a good proof of concept for what I want to do later. On a larger scale. As far as the live streams are concerned, really not too much. It's just basically Donde Esta Lucy, editing the final page of Silver Shore. The gay ships tier list was a fun one. The character assassination in defense of Madison. The fanfiction award show, which I know it was less than half an hour long, but like I wasn't really feeling that great that week, and I was like, I gotta do the live stream. I gotta do something. But I did put a lot of work into it. What?
Thanks for the book, by the way.
Yeah, of course. And of course the upstage streams, which they went on longer than I ever intended them to. Oh boy, my throat's killing me right now. All right, so we're gonna talk about Tales from the Candyverse, and then we're gonna talk about the future of BCB. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get like a snack or something. Ooh. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get some applesauce for a little bit of NRG. I do want to stay up till midnight streaming Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, guys. I want to bring in the new year with Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, you're not going to a party or anything? No family?
Nah, dude, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream with my friends. We're gonna have a party on the internet.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Why? What about you? Are you going to a party?
Yeah, unfortunately it's a family gathering.
Oh, well. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks. It's what you know, there's always that one aunt nobody likes. She's gonna be there, so. Yeah, that doesn't matter. What matters is that, you know, the other part of the family is there and, you know, we all have a good time. Just talk about, you know, what we're gonna do next year and what has happened in the past year. All that stuff. It's gonna be fun. Let's see, what is this? Hurricane Carter. Knew the storm was coming. Warned on television by the local Roseville station.
So I do plan on some point, like, doing a writer's commentary on all of these and explaining each of them. Still eating.
Here's you to watch some nerdy thing like that, just like Daisy. Oh wait, hold on. Hurricane Car. Is this the one where a fucking tree falls on Lucy's house?
Yes.
Nice. Sorry if that was a spoiler for you viewers. Sorry.
Alright, let's do it. Okay. So I am still working on Kazuna and the Candyverse of Chaos. I am getting closer to the end. I have like a chapter and a half left to do. I am just having difficulty pushing through the section of the chapter that I'm on, but it will start uploading next year, come hell or high water. I wanted to get it done by the end of this year, but it just ended up not happening because I am a very lazy piece of shit. But I am working on it, and it will be done. And then I can move on to writing Not So Different Part 2, which I am very much looking forward to. Hurricane Carter. So this one came out of a desire. For those of you who don't know, there is a hurricane that comes through Roseville. The Lucy household, the K.O. Manny household loses power. And the Korat family goes off to save them, or to bring them over to their house so they can have a place to stay. And then a tree falls on the K.O. Manny house, and Lucy's up there, and Mike goes up there to save her because he loves her, right? He's like, oh no, Lucy. And when I decide to write a story, it has to have like a really strong emotional punch. And in my head, I was like, I need that superhero moment. That moment where a character pushes themselves beyond their limitations in order to save somebody. And so for me in my head, it was Mike holding up a beam or something to keep it from crushing Lucy. But like, it's very clearly too heavy for him to keep holding, but he's gonna hold it up as long as he possibly can until help can get there. And if it ends up killing him, then that's fine, but he had to protect Lucy. That's what this was. This has some really good moments in it. Yeah, no, sorry. Don't leave me. Don't go where I can't protect you, where I can't love you. That shit hits you real fucking hard, doesn't it? But they both survive, of course, and then they cuddle, and it's good shit. Amaya's Nightmare. So this is actually a follow-up, and I do have a third one planned in my head, but I just don't.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just don't really know where to go with it. But basically, Amaya has a nightmare about being stabbed by those bullies that were in the first part of this. These people were like tormenting Amaya, and nobody was helping them. And then her and Mike, she is her in the story. Her and Mike are having a little slumber party together because she has to go do a big scary court case the next day, and she's gonna have to talk, and she's gonna have to face her tormentors. And they're just like, look, you two, as long as you promise not to like do anything, you two can be together, because we know it's going to be very stressful for her, and we want her to be in peace of mind. Just a cute little fucking girl has a nightmare and the guy comforts her shit.
Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Good.
After reading it I know I'm way older than you are. I assure you that shit gets boring. But when I was your age, I would eat that shit up. I totally agree.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Night Under the Stars. This was actually inspired by an image that I commissioned from Bittersweet Disney, who you guys should definitely go commission, by the way. Does a lot of really great traditional art. They did that fantastic that We Should Be Friends video or whatever from, I don't know why I shut down the thing. Again, I don't know why I keep doing that.
Glorious art.
Alright, let me see. I know. I am subscribed to JReg, but that's only because they like BCB.
Oh, that Canadian guy?
Yeah. Where is... I know that we are gonna be friends. That video. Amazing video, by the way. Highly recommend go check out Bittersweet Disney on YouTube.
And also check out the White Stripes. They're a really good band.
Yeah. This image I wrote the story around. You know, the last night before Tess goes to college, you know, what's that like? Of course she's going to want to spend it with Paulo. Just one last hurrah for the both of them, just to, in the most safe for work way possible that I could do it. I could have taken this story, now that I'm thinking about it, I could take this story in another direction where she's like, hey, I'm going to be moving out for college. You know, we've been holding this off for a long time. Let's just do it.
Do the giggity.
But this is better, I think. This ended up being better. Just a cute little scene between the both of them saying goodbye and watching the stars. It's nice. Jordan X Haley 2. There was a Fannel member who's now banned, but they really liked this ship. And I knew that I was going to have to follow up the first one because it ends off on kind of a cliffhanger where I could have just not followed up on it, but still. Okay, let's have Jordan and Haley go on a date. It is a little shit. I don't really... The whole thing about Haley getting stalked, I don't know. That's kind of like a weird thing that I did, but does it work to the benefit of the rest of the story? Maybe. That's up to the reader to decide. I just know people did end up liking it. I still get comments on this thing. By the way, Tales from the Candyverse is the most read BCB thing on AO3 for now. I know the Anchor just updated. A lot of people are really enjoying that. You guys go check out the Anchor. Is very well written. The Compliment. This is basically me speed running Paulo X James. This is what we should have gotten to a certain degree, where Paulo starts having his gay boy thoughts because of James. And this basically goes down the thought process behind that. How does this happen? Something stirred inside the Somali that night. Something he could never have imagined was in him. A slight blush now crept over his smile, but he quickly tried to wipe it away. For the rest of the night, he did his best to keep his distance, but it hurt to do so. Whenever he was feeling down, James cheered him up. Yet now he had to stay away from the thing that would make him feel better. James was like a warm sunny afternoon, and Paulo wanted to bask in his glow. George R.R. Martin couldn't write something better than that, I tell you what.
He definitely.
I need you guys to understand. People, I'm always afraid that people are going to accuse me of being like homophobic. Oh, you don't like gay ships or whatever. I need you guys to understand that it is not that. I think a lot of people ship for the sake of shipping, and of course that's why we're here to read this comic. But sometimes there are ships that should have sailed, even if only for a little bit, that did not get a chance for very stupid reasons. And I think this would have been a great way to have Paulo not only come into his bisexuality, but to go on a little man date with James. Just in my opinion. Soul for Another. This one is a very weird one and kind of sucks. But basically, it's Mike yelling. Like, the idea is, it's almost like It's a Wonderful Life. Like, what if Mike had to go back and look at every moment that he was mean to Lucy? Or what if he had to go back and watch him yelling at Lucy in hindsight? And, like, he's, like, screaming at himself to stop, like, yelling at her. But he can't talk to himself, right? Like, they can't do that. But he does get the opportunity, and Augustus is like, would you give up your soul to just get a few minutes with her, to make her, to console her? And Mike's like, yes, of course I'll do it. You know, I deserve this. You know, like, I deserve, like, I owe this to her, to make her understand that she is loved. And so I like this one, actually. I know I just said it sucks, but I do like the concept of it. It has a very, very strong emotional core. And I only like to write stories that they have a strong emotional core. Unfortunately, this means that it's a lot of Paulo X Sue stuff, but there's a big emotional core there. So there you go. Bad Boys. This one was another one where I wanted to write an Alejandro story. I do have a few ideas for Alejandro stories. Like, I have talked about it off and on for years, but I want to do a story where Alejandro basically extends an offer to join his gang to Lucy. He's like, hey, I see how you treat your friends. You treat them the same way I treat my friends. You know, join me. Join by my side, and together we can learn the secrets to eternal life.
Ew.
Not in like a romantic way, in purely a business sort of way. Like, hey, I need that sort of brutishness in my corner, and you're really good at it. But this was, I don't know if Alejandro and Roger would have been going to Roseville High at the same time. If they were, I feel like Roger would be kind of closer to being a freshman and Alejandro would already be on his way out the door. That's if Alejandro didn't drop out of school. But this is just like, there's a song that my grandmother used to sing back when I was like a little babby. And the song goes, everybody needs a little bad boy to give some loving to. And that's the basis for this, right? Kind of. Obviously, that little rhyme, that little song is more about like, you know, like a little rambunctious kid and rather than an actual lover. But the idea of Alejandro kind of being put on the back foot by this guy, it's just an interesting little slice of a larger world, right? Like, what is the rest of their relationship like? Like, how did this happen? Where does it go? I like this story a lot. I like the idea of this story. Maybe more than my execution of it, but I do like the idea of this story. Roommates. You guys can tell whenever I'm like really inspired to write something because it looks like this. There's just so much there, right? And so Roommates was based off of the image, and you guys already know what it is.
You've been slipping on your words. Every single time you say Paulo, you have to say Sue right afterwards. Paulo and Sue.
Yeah. I don't know if it... No, it's not here. Hold up. A lot of great Paulo and Sue images. I don't know why this is not labeled as Paulo x Sue. It clearly is. No, come on, look at it. Look at the way it... Come on, no, shut up. Shut up. Please, okay, it's inspired by this image. So, right here, Sue and Paulo discover their dorm mates. And I was like, what if they were? They'd fucking hate each other. It would be the most awkward shit imaginable, right? And so how do you get them together from that? Well, I made up an original character named Oliver. No, it was not inspired by Suitcase. I swear it was just a name that I thought was interesting and I used it.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
I would never let Suitcase go anywhere near Sue. So basically the idea is that Sue and her pursuit to get a relationship and kind of being stupid and a little arrogant, she ends up getting with this guy that might not be the best. And I haven't wrote it yet, but there is a reason why Sue is skittish. Sue has this thing where if she's gonna be intimate with someone, it's gotta be someone that she really knows, someone that she really trusts. And Oliver, even though they've been together for a little bit, she isn't comfortable enough to give up, like, to be intimate, to show that side of herself, or to be open to that side of herself with him. And he gets frustrated, he gets impatient, and that leads to a very bad situation where she is pinned against her bed and he won't let her, you know, he's trying to do his thing with her. Fortunately, Paulo's there, and he comes in and saves the day, but not before getting the shit beat out of him. And this kind of leads into Sue and Paulo slowly opening up to each other. Sue feels like she owes him, makes him a crappy little dinner. It's something, right? It's something. And I think this is very good. Very good. I like this story a lot. And
For obvious reasons.
yeah, well, I think it's well written. I do write stuff that I think is actually well written.
Yeah, why is it
Look at
written?
this.
Because it's something you really like.
Paulo agreed that it would be better for everyone if they just left. No doubt Oliver was looking for a rematch after his humiliating butt-kicking weeks prior. However, he didn't much like being ignored. Hey, he said harshly, walking up and grabbing Sue's free arm. I'm talking to you. This was a terrible mistake. Things moved so fast. No sooner had he grabbed Sue, Paulo had let go of her hand and filled his with the punk's leather jacket. He pushed Oliver up against one of the nearby lampposts that dotted the parking lot. There was an intense fire in his eyes, as though he were trying to melt what little brains Oliver had. If you touch her again, he growled, I'm gonna rip your spine out through your ass and shove it down your throat so I can rip it out your ass again. It's a little bit more intense than I probably should have gone. This is actually taken from another Paulo X Sue story that I haven't written, that I might write. I don't want to write, like, I don't want to keep repeating myself. I want to find new and interesting ways to tell this story. But basically, it's like Sue has had her little tumble at cheerleading practice. She's in the hospital with the broken leg. Paulo's friends, like, their friends are like, Paulo, you need to at least go say hi to her while she's in the hospital. He's like, I don't want to go say hi to her. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck Sue. Like, haha, she broke her leg. And, they tell Paulo something that he didn't know. You want to know what they tell him that he didn't know was? Remember when Paulo got hit by that car? Well, Sue actually came to visit him while he was unconscious, but he didn't know. And so they hold that over his head. They're like, look, she at least came to see how you were doing when you were unconscious, so you can at least go see how she's doing. Anyway, that leads to a whole thing, and then Sue comes back to school, but she still has the crutches, and then some guy, like, starts bullying her and, like, kicks the crutches out from underneath her, and then Paulo grabs him and slams him up against the locker, and he's like, if I see you near her again, I'll fucking kill you, or some shit like that. Anyway, that's what this is from, so I probably won't do that scene, but there you go. I thought this was a good back and forth. Like, I like coming up with these back and forths of, okay, Paulo gives a little bit, Sue gives a little bit, Paulo gives a little bit. They look out for each other. They cover each other's asses. Paulo saves her from a really, really intense situation, and she kind of comes to his aid when he's looking like a jackass because he got too drunk at a dorm party or at a college party. So, there you go. I know I talked about that too much. Misunderstanding. Oh, this one. So, this is a really weird short one where Mike and Lucy are talking about a flower, but it sounds like they're talking about something even more sussy than that. And Mike's mom doesn't see what they're doing. She just hears them talking about it, and it sounds really suspect. She throws the door open. She's like, "What are you two doing in here?" They're just looking at a flower. This is actually kind of inspired. No. I wanted to write a story where something similar happened between Augustus and Lucy's mom. It's already a bad sign. I wanted to tell a story where Augustus thought that Lucy's mom was coming on to him, but I couldn't get it to work in a way that I wanted it to. So I threw it out. I actually have another idea for a story about Mike and Lucy's mom, but I don't know if I'll ever end up writing that one. It was inspired by some art that I saw, but not get your minds out of the gutter. But I wrote a really nice Paulo X Sue story. Another one. Just another one that really inspired some people, and they drew some art, and then that inspired me. Look, it's a Ouroboros, right? Anyway, yeah. So that's what this is. Pride Tree. This was Pride Month. I was like, I gotta write a story. I am going to write the gayest story I could possibly imagine. That is safe for work. Okay. I could have
Yeah,
gone the full fucking crazy 9 yards, dude, and made this shit crazy as fuck. But I was like, this is gonna be the gayest, wholesomest story I can conjure in my brain.
it wasn't gay enough. That's my
It
issue.
wasn't gay enough. The boys are sitting in each other's laps and rubbing up on each other and like cuddling, and it's not gay enough.
No kissing?
They, you know, you don't have to kiss to be gay, right?
No kissing? Come on, buddy.
If
It's
it
wasted
turned
potential
into
at
a
best.
makeout, it would basically be a makeout orgy, which is like weird. Look, it
I don't
had
know,
to
they could
fit
just
into
give
the
each other quick
parameters that
kisses
I
on the
set,
lips.
and
Oh,
I
look,
think
look,
I
look,
did a
look,
good
look,
job.
Could have
What?
been more gay.
David says, "Now let's bang." You don't know what happens next. Maybe they did bang. You know, I didn't. Maybe it did. If you guys want to believe
Yeah,
that
but I
they
don't think
did,
it
then
was for
you
David.
can. And if you don't want to, then there you go. Hurt ear. This is another one where I was like, Lucy. This is a Lucy sacrifice story, where Lucy and Mike have a fight, and then Lucy sacrifices watching the fireworks show to comfort Mike. Like, I had this idea in my head. It was kind of inspired by Pep Rally, where Mike's ears are hurting because of the loud music, and Lucy cradles his head in her arms. And I wanted to tell a story like that, but like with... I also wanted it to be out for 4th of July. But it was not out for 4th of July, because I took too long. So I just made it some summer celebration. Yeah. This is a cute little Musey story. I'm surprised you don't like this one. Weird Science.
Huh?
This story is very special. This is a very special story. This story was inspired by a piece of art that Bailey drew. I'm going to pull it up for you guys now. Gosh darn it. It was this. And everyone thought that they had like a baby together somehow. Scrunchmew or Bailey came in and said that they adopted this child that just so happens to look a lot like them. In my brain, I was like, but what if they could use science using their DNA to make a child? And so I created this science fiction story where Sue and Daisy created this laboratory in secret. Like, Daisy wanted to find a way for same-sex / interspecies couples to have a baby. And so she and Sue created this lab, even though like it was like really taboo. That's why they had to do it in secret. They created a lab where they were going to be able to do just that. Paul and David are up on, they step up, and they are going to have a baby together. And that's the story. And so Bailey's art inspired this one. It's good stuff. It's a good story. Highly recommend checking it out. This
I really like that.
was supposed to be, say it with me folks, another Paulo X Sue story. And Rusbus convinced me to make it about Daisy. I am being honest with you, this works better with Daisy than Sue. Sue would have been indulgent. But it would have essentially have been the same story. Where, like, think about this. They have whiskers. Imagine if someone pulled their fucking whiskers off. Now, whiskers grow back, I believe. I believe they grow back. But imagine how painful it must be. And so somebody does this to Daisy. And it like, it's a good moment. It's not good that it happened to her, but it is a good, strong, emotional moment. Daisy and her poor little whiskery whiskers. Also, I put Jasmine in there. Jasmine does not get enough love these days. I'm just, being real with you guys. Let's see. Oh, poor Daisy. I hope this never happens to anyone in the comic. That would be sad.
How you
Uh,
doing, Amazon?
Wait, did Amazel just join? Oh my god,
Yeah.
Amazel, hello.
What is up?
Oh, we're talking about BCB in the year 2020, like the year in review for BCB, the BCB Fanel, and some of the stories I wrote, which I am almost done with here. I think I got like one more. Mistletoe on the go. Wouldn't you know it, this is a Apollo Ixu story. What can I say? I'm really good at writing these. This one I really liked a lot. This, of course, is inspired by the thing that I freaking shut the thing down.
Yep. Well, while you talk about that, I gotta go. You guys, I'll see you guys next year.
Apollo Sue. Okay.
Goodbye.
This is inspired by this image. I was like, oh, this is a kind of a fun idea. What if Sue, in her desire to find companionship or like some sort of a little bit of smoochy romance, came up with this thing here, right? Like, why would Sue do this? It's very un-Sue-like. But Sue's also like the high concept but completely falls in her face kind of thing. And that's what this was about. And her and Paulo have a fight. She starts crying, and then they have an honest conversation about what it means to be fun. They talk about their differences. What is fun? What is like? It's okay to like fail because you're trying, right? Good. This is a good story. I like this a lot. Also, David and Rachel definitely kept each other warm all night. Ha 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 ha. By the way, I just want to be clear. David and Rachel are not in a relationship in this one. That was just kind of David being a little funny little guy. I can see. I hate David, but I will write him properly. Right? I refuse to write David poorly. I will not stoop to this level. I will write Abby to be an asshole, but I can't do it to David. Right? It's out of character.
Yeah.
How are you, Amazon? How has the 2024 been for you?
Pretty uneventful art-wise. No new video this year.
Oh, yeah.
Not even the annual rant. No.
You've been a busy bee this year. You know, who can blame you?
Eh. We have done the few videos though.
Oh wow. We have a new user that joined the other day named Elevin. What is your thoughts on 2024 for BCB? Have you been keeping up
You
with
mean
it?
11?
Oh, is that how you should pronounce that?
I don't know. I don't know what the spelling is, but Elevin sounds like it's 11. So, yeah, like the number is that who this person is?
By a guy named Drawfed. I am no artist. I just stand on the shoulders of giants. I don't know, but they have a big essay. We'll read Elevin's essay in the BCB Fanel Discord. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this most recent chapter? Are you excited that Paulo and Daisy are finally gonna end up together?
Excitement is none. I haven't read it aside from just seeing the thumbnails, glancing. From a glance, it's okay, I'm sure. But I just don't see the purpose.
Oh.
Outside of doing, we have it now. At least we have something.
That's cool. It's cool. Seems like a lot of people have checked out. That's okay. Let's see. We have a mini essay here to read, and then I think we're gonna wrap up stream because I've been live for over 2 hours. I know I'm new, but I figure I'd throw in my thoughts about Lucy and Mike's relationship in here since you guys were talking about it and I have thoughts. Early on, it was very much a mutual friendship, with Lucy being the biggest problem and a little bit abusive. However, something that stops me from just saying she's a bad person is that they are all still kids. Like literally 13 and 14 during the omnibus chapters. This does not necessarily excuse her physical violence and name calling, but at least to my memory, nothing she does is ever extreme beyond the occasional smack or kick or insult. Standard playground roughhousing type shit. This is true.
Mhm.
I don't think Lucy was ever malicious towards Mike. I don't think anything she ever did was like out of malice, like wanting to, like she hated him. We know
Yeah.
that they genuinely care about each other, as seen in confrontation in other places, and Lucy does actively try to be better after Silvershore. I feel the biggest issue between them was Sandy. That is the that is the plot to the webcomic. Yep. Too true. Very real. Her relationship with Mike left Lucy jealous and led Mike to seeing his relationship with Lucy as one-sided and abusive when in reality, Lucy was just extremely immature about expressing her feelings and Mike was a bit of a doormat. Some things never change, shake my head. We can see after her return that Lucy is way better. She hasn't really done much physical harm outside of a few very impactful and deliberate moments, like smacking Paulo in Double Down, something which in the earlier chapters would have been nothing more than a typical Lucy slapstick joke, actually has weight because she is getting better, and it took some serious emotion slash jabbing to get her to go physical. That is true. I would make the argument, here, we're going to pull it up real quick. And you know what, you already know what I'm pulling up. It's After You, where she beats Paulo up after saying he's just gonna get over her, which is great.
Yes, one of the BCB chapters of all time. I Another case of the terrible ending.
I do agree that with 11, they are right about Lucy getting pushed to her limit during Double Down, but then Teshi
This
does.
is something else.
Yeah, but this thing, like Teshi does this. I said it earlier. BCB is written in a way where you can literally argue in circles forever about stuff because it feels like the story is or the characters constantly contradict themselves. It feels like Teshi contradicts herself because she thinks something will be funny, and then later it doesn't make any sense, which happens a lot. But it also makes it fun to argue in circles about it forever. So you got to take the good with the bad.
I'm kind of through with the arguing in circles. It is very tiresome, but yeah, this whole bit's just stupid. I hate this reaction out of Lucy. It's kind of it's the thing I complained about before in like the written rants because it was more prevalent back then about this kind of new Lucy where it's just an exaggeration of her or almost a caricature of her old features. Like, oh, she's a bully, she's mean, so she's just doing this like mostly unprompted. Like she has a hair trigger, like that's even though that's not really been the case. Um I will agree with what was said before about like yeah, the earlier volumes, like when there was a point that whenever she did like hit Mike and stuff, like it was because Mike was being a little shit. Like he was also giving it was a give and take, you know?
Not always,
And
but yeah.
yeah. But it always had that sort of playful tinge. And like you could see where it's coming from. It's not like she did like here it's just it's hard to look at the ending or the last third of After You and not view this as kind of just manipulation because it's literally Lucy trying to get what she wants out of Paolo, which is you're going to that party. I don't care what you got if you have any prior things. Blah blah blah. You will do what I ask. And the second that he does something the second that he like stops doing it, or he shows like he doesn't like accept it, or shows some sort of agency, she gets upset.
I should see
Like
the gender
even
bended
go back.
version of the page. Yeah, I have seen it. Go back where?
Yeah, like go back like the previous page, or the one before.
One.
Like yeah, there. Like and actually a bit before too. Like I hated this too, where she's like it's almost a manipulative pattern of behavior. Like she's like trying to be like, woe is me, and then one step Hal is like, but wait, there's still something, right? If he doesn't take the bait, it is like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever, and I accept it. We're not a thing anymore. Or she immediately starts getting yelly. It's like, okay, move to the next stage, which is anger, and just yell at him until he fucking accepts it. And then the next page, immediately after this, once he like rips off the teddy bear, is like, yeah. She's like, good, you get the point now. And then she's immediately happy about it. She's like, oh, this is a really nice day, isn't it? And then Pal's like, oh, actually, I don't really like Daisy. He's like, no, you're gonna move on. You will forcibly move on, or else you're gonna do the thing that I want, or else blah blah blah, or else I'm gonna hit you. It's just pure manipulation, and it's one of the things that just destroys the character, or builds the case against her, which is I would say it's unnecessary, but obviously if you want to have people fight forever on end about who's right, Mike or Lucy, then I guess it works.
Yeah, it's very good. I might not have the gender bent pages for that one, but I have seen them. I know what you're talking about. Maybe I slid them into the Teshi section of my archive folder. Anyway, let's see, next thing. For Mike, I do feel like he was more in the right early on, but the way he handled it in December was really fucking bad, to say the least. True. As for President, he is by far the worst person. Lucy is trying to accept that she will always be second fiddle to Sandy and move on, despite the feelings still being there. Not much you can do about those, unfortunately. A lot of booze. Let's see. Regarding I don't fucking like you anymore scene, I think she was standing up for herself and trying to make her feelings clear in a more mature way than old Lucy would have. I don't really think that was a really mature way to handle that. But I get what you're trying to say. She isn't just like physically fighting him. She laid out her reasoning for not wanting to talk to Mike very calmly and clearly, and was not wrong about Mike's behavior. She even gave him the opportunity to clarify what he really meant during December. When he was unable to do so, she told him to fuck off and moved on. Now, should they continue on like this? Probably not, but as long as Sandy is even remotely in the picture, Lucy can never trust Mike's ability to be there for her as a friend, let alone anything more. Whether or not you think that's a valid concern, from her perspective, it's the case, and pretty understandable. That is true. Eternal Flame was the absolute nail in the coffin. And by the way, I think at this point, Mike would absolutely pick Lucy over Sandy. It's not even close.
At what point?
Like at this point in the story, Mike would pick.
Oh.
If both of them were on hanging off of a cliff and he could only save one, he would probably save Lucy. Eternal Flame was the absolute nail in the coffin. Everything between them at the tree was fine, good even. But as soon as Mike took Sandy back, he made the biggest mistake and has been literally losing sleep over it since. Lucy talked to him, gave him advice, was even willing to consider being friends with him again, and he couldn't even go a couple hours without crawling back to Sandy, totally justifying Lucy's every fear and gripe in her mind. Thanks for coming to my rant. Feel free to pick it apart and rip me to shreds. I mean, I more or less agree with everything you said. The only thing is that Mike, this is something interesting, Amazil. You probably picked up on this because you're smarter than me, but when you read Burnt Bridges, Mike never actually says he took her back because he liked her. He didn't say I took her back because I
Yeah.
love her. He said I took her back because I felt bad. And that is a huge tell right there, that even though he took her back, he wasn't doing it for any sort of I still love her, I still like her. It was I only did it for her, not because I wanted to do it. And that, I think that's a huge thing right there. The thing is that I think at this point Mike would totally be able to balance Lucy and Sandy, like being Lucy's friend. The way the comic paints it is that Mike owed Lucy a relationship after that night, and it's like Mike could have still just been her friend. I don't understand why. Like, I understand why Lucy was upset, but Mike didn't owe her a relationship.
I think he just owed her peace. Like, not
like just
fucking
never talking
with
to
her.
Sandy again. Yeah.
No, just not fucking with her anymore. Like, even...
He didn't.
Even,
what did he do? What did he do?
He did something that he knew would upset Lucy.
But he was thinking about Lucy. They show that. Teshi shows that in On Call. He was thinking about Lucy, but Sandy basically gaslit him into taking her back by going, "Is one mistake really all it takes for you to break up with me?" And it's like,
sure, but it's still something that he knew would upset her.
But he said that he didn't let Lucy. He told Lucy, "You didn't let me finish," but we never figured out what it was.
I think it mattered.
No, I think what he was going to say is that I took Sandy back, but I do not love her. But he wouldn't say that to anyone else, but he would tell Lucy that. But then Lucy would be like, "Well, why the fuck did you take her back?" "Well, I did it because I knew how she felt, because it's the way I felt when you try to kill yourself." And well, there you go. Just argue in circles, right? It really just depends on who you identify with more, you know? I try to stay objective. Yeah. But also the argument that they're all kids, that is true. And I think this led Mike to, I think Mike's love for Lucy and him just being stupid, being a stupid kid, led him to trying to fix her. Oh, if I just help her and put up with her enough, she'll be fine eventually, and she'll come around and she'll love me. But that's not the way Lucy's brain works. And so he got fed up, even though he put himself in that situation. Doesn't make it right for Lucy to hurt him, but, you know, Mike, you can't fix her, dude. You cannot fix her. Alright, sorry. This is the way it is. You know, I don't make the rules. And I should say that this, if you guys want to do more funny little debates with us, you should totally join the BCB Fannel Discord. We were talking about, I don't even remember what this spawned. She no longer had to fit. Oh, right. It's because of a new piece of art, a new art meme. Here, let's bring this up. This actually, it'll be interesting to get your. I know I said I was going to end stream. By the way, Teshi said that she could do BCB forever if she wanted to. I hope she does. She said if she does. She said if she can't think of another comic that she wants to do more, she could just keep doing BCB. And right now, she says that she kind of just wants to keep doing BCB. Lucy X Therapy plus supportive King Augustus. Oh look, she ships herself with David. That's nice.
Cool. Someone needs to give David some love. Okay.
Yeah, which is James. James should give David some love. Do you agree with this statement? I need you to say it's going to happen, so it will happen, please.
No, I will not. I have not. To be fair, I haven't seen anything of James still, so I can't comment on his character. But no, I don't think he's.
All right, so this is what spawned this whole discussion. And by the way, really great art, really great. Ellie Beans, great art, amazing job. Good job. We love to see it. This moment stands out to me. It hit me so hard to see Lucy stand up for herself meaningfully. In this chapter, she felt no need to physically bully Mike to have a sense of control over her situation. She just told it like it fucking is and moved along happily. I remember feeling so proud of her character development at this point. while I personally would not have chosen the go fuck yourself thing because she already knows that she is guilty of all these things, I get it, right? And that's what kind of spawned the argument earlier.
I've actually talked about this one bit, or actually no, I kind of glossed over it, or I gave a kind of summary. But like, 'cause that whole chapter, I forget which one that is, but
It's the one where
that's the one where Rachel breaks up with Paolo and some and other things.
it's the one where
But-
they have the drama. It's unspoken rule.
Yeah. So like, this.
I
Like,
will
I
say
get
Lucy
it's-
is kind of making like being a little showy by like doing this shit at dodgeball. She's being a little bit of a fucking bitch. You can't sit here and be like, oh wow, oh she's not being very mature here, right?
Oh,
like,
I
I'm gonna
completely
show you
skipped
how-
this.
I'm gonna show you how much I don't care about you by like putting a show about me ignoring you. So it's still tit for tat, right? Like she's also in the right, but still in the wrong, even when she's in the right. There's no one's fully in the right, dude.
Oh.
It's
Okay,
this one.
so
We get this
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice
that.
full kind of full body of Lucy.
yeah, well, first of all, I just want to point out, like, when I did the review of this, like, I just skipped the dodgeball scene. I'm like, no one cares. Nobody.
It
It's so
is
pointless.
important.
It doesn't
is
fucking
very
matter.
important.
No,
I
it's
can't believe you would do
you
this.
already fucking know. You get it from literally everything else. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, but particularly this scene, like, I hate that punchline because it's something that, because the comic did this 3 times in this one chapter, where it has a very good fucking moment, and it's very nice. Like that, the whole 3 or 4 pages before this, where Lucy's like, "You wanted me out of your hair, right? This is what you wanted. I'm trying to fucking do. I'm just giving you what you wanted. I'm trying to do what this. Fucking leave me alone, alright? You're not the... And I don't care." I'm like, that's fucking great. It's perfect. It's what we wanted from this character and from this whole situation. It's them finally actually airing out their grievances and talking to each other and making their case. It's wonderful. But this final bit of her flipping the bird, saying, "I don't fucking like you anymore," it's childish, in not just in the, oh, oh yes, these are kids, but I mean from a narrative perspective. Like, I mean, Ellie, whoever did the art meme, even inserted the Vine Boom thing. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's just the, aha, we're putting a mic drop here on a scene that really doesn't need it. It would stand so fucking proud and so great. Oh, right. Fucking now I remember, this is also the one that had the heart about to explode bit. Like, there's these nice touching moments, great
favorite.
character bits that just they gotta fucking ruin it by doing this cheap shit. It's just cheap. It's a cheap punchline. Be like, whoa, hey,
Whoa, Lucy
there was
girl
how we
boss
ended.
moment. Fucking oh. Yeah, look, this
And
was
it's
a
like-
good day for Lucy stands. If you hated Mike and you loved Lucy, this is you put this on the fridge. You laminate this and you put it on the fridge. It's very soy
look,
from that artist. It's
Look,
not
I like
soy.
Lucy. I love Lucy. All right, I made a whole thing about her, but like, she really doesn't need that. She doesn't need this. I understand why people like it, but it's just cheap, and I wish that you should accept. I wish people would love more. Also, it doesn't help that at the end of this chapter is when Lucy accepts Paolo's invitation to the carnival after side-eyeing and Mike, who's walking away in the background.
Oh yeah,
Which
no,
just
she only
goes to
said yes
show that
to
maybe she.
Paulo to. Actually, I don't know. We'll take a look at that because I don't know if that's entirely. Hey, babe. How'd you beat me to my house? Oh, I have my ways. Like skipping final period. Let's see. Oh yeah. I don't think she was side-eyeing Mike. I think she was just looking away
Right.
because she was embarrassed. I don't think she was doing it to fuck with Mike. It's very easy to
It
forget this
is
comic.
very.
It's easy. There's so much that happens, but also so little that happens that it's easy to forget details. And it's like, oh wait, this is not how I remembered it.
Yeah. It doesn't. It also doesn't help that bits are changed, so it could have been interpreted one way. In fact, it's you see the through line that it could be, and then it's just not anymore.
The third line, this one,
What?
or this one? This
No,
one?
I said the through line.
Oh, through line. Yeah, no, I get you, but I honestly wasn't it. Paulo Daisy chapter wedding win. This newest chapter is speeding you. Anyway, we already talked about why Paul and Daisy is kind of boring, but yeah, I mean that's all I really got to say. It was a great year for BCB. It was a great year for us. We have a lot of great things coming down the pipeline, a lot of videos in the backlog, a lot of funny memes, and hopefully you guys will get to see Silver Shore sometime next year. We worked very, very hard on it, and it
And
will
maybe
be
I will get off my ass and do Double Down.
yeah.
It's actually been a very eventful year for me, in just that last 2 months I had to go to 2 weddings in the span of 30 days, which was
Damn.
fun.
Very popular, best
Including
man.
one of the boys. One of the boys has been married. Well, 2 actually. They've
2 of
both
the-
been married.
Whoa.
Which means that we may never have a chance of restarting Let's Read.
I mean, I'm available usually in the afternoons after work, but I'm kind of on hiatus from work at the moment.
I mean, my boys.
Oh,
The boys.
I guess I know too much. Love for you, Sprunky. Yeah, have you seen this Sprunky thing? I'm gonna show you 2
No.
characters, and I want you to tell me how much alike they are with Mike and Lucy. Okay. These 2 characters, Winda and Gray, and there's somebody in the Sprunky Discord that are like BCB fans, right? So like obviously it's there. Let me see if I can find. I gotta be careful actually. There's kind of some sus here. Well, yeah, see like that.
Surely.
There is this one right here. This is the one. This is one of the early ones I saw, and I was like, this is literally almost exactly Mike and Lucy, right?
Although she's got that, she's drawn like how I draw Daisy. She has Daisy's furls.
No, I mean the cheekers go up, right? But look, you got the gray.
That's the
kind of like
no.
soft-spoken
That's the
cat.
same face that I have for Daisy. I know how I draw Daisy.
Winda's
she does
kind
that.
of a bitch. Winda's a little bitchly. She doesn't like other people, but she likes Gray. And yeah. What the fuck is this weird shit, dude?
Oh, hey, they even do the salt and pepper shaker thing. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it.
No, this is actually how they normally. So Sprunky is like a music box game or some weird shit. It's like a mod.
Oh.
And these 2 characters are like supposed to be in love or something. I don't know. It's a weird thing. That's just a funny thing. I'm pregnant. What? I'll go get some. Oh my god. There's also a lot of cringe and a lot of really awful. I have read some. You guys think the BCB community is bad? I have read shit that makes Alejandro x Lucy seem like it's normal and like fine. You don't even know. You couldn't even fucking imagine.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about this, like, Sprunky thing, but it does seem like it appeals to kids. And I will say, I'll be the first to say it, the kids are not alright. Chances blown, nothing's free.
Oh, a Haley image. Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap it up. This stream went on forever. Hey, it was a good year, and I'm glad Amazil could join us to round out the year. Hey, maybe next month we'll do a little bit more upstage. We haven't done that in a hot minute. I'll get Karif around. Maybe I'll actually win this time, or maybe Amazil will just keep beating me. Who knows?
Is that the person that did the cameo for the Christmas episode?
No, the narrator is that's not Karif. That's someone else.
Who is that?
It's my friend LJ. Karif
Cool.
voiced Felix in the Intervention dub. Also, he joined us for one of the upstage streams, if you remember.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna end stream here. You guys have a wonderful rest of the year. It won't last for much longer. For some people, I think it's already 2025. Oh wait, we're gonna raid somebody. We're gonna raid Noka Sunshine.
Yeah.
Noka Sunshine. Nobody's watching. That's fine. We're gonna raid Noka anyway. Noka Sunshine is the person that created Kazuna. And she is a snail, and she is a wonderful VTuber. Go give her some love. She actually has agreed. Get this, Amazil. She has agreed to voice Kazuna in the Disaster Dominoes, which will be
That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah, it'll be. I hope she knows that people love her little yellow doggo. I actually named my Nintendo Kazuna, even though it's a Dachshund or Dachshund or whatever. Okay, this is the end of stream for real.